Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I made a video a couple weeks ago about box breakers kind of getting pressed in the single markets right now. And the fundamental reason for that was that boxes have gone up in price. WotC has finally cut back print runs, that has finally flowed through the market, and a lot of the excess number of boxes that had been printed in 2021, 22, and maybe the early part of 23 also have kind of gotten sucked up by box breakers, and all of the potential profit in them has been arbitraged away. And so I made that video about people like me who do box breaking kind of as part of their business, getting squeezed on margins there and finding it harder and harder to find good deals, to find deals where the risk level is appropriate. And I had several questions after I had made that video, and I wanted to address two of them. The first one is, did I think, and I think the way I worded it in the video was poor. And so some people came away thinking that I believe that box breaking is dead forever. And I absolutely don't believe that. If you watched a lot of early Rudy content, you know that back in the early to mid 2010s, Rudy did a bunch of box breaking. And then there came a period where he stopped doing it. And then by the time that this kind of era of box breaking came along in the 2020s, his business was established where he didn't do it anymore at all. But box breaking goes in and out of cycle, just like a lot of things in business do. And so I definitely think a time will come when box breaking comes back and when it becomes reasonable to do it again. And it's interesting having conversations with a bunch of my patrons because many of them are box breakers. Many of them became my patrons because I was making so much content about box breaking a year ago, 6 months ago, in that time frame. And so it's interesting having those conversations about what they're doing with their businesses and how they're thinking about this and approaching it. And so what I'm doing is simply continuing to fulfill orders, continuing to sell on direct. And if an opportunity comes up and I find a bunch of good boxes that I can break for a profit, then yeah, absolutely, I will do it. And so, I see this as just riding the waves of the market. I had another question from someone basically asking if I would ever come back to box breaking, regardless of the market going back and forth, waving and fluctuating where box breaking is and isn't viable for a business. And of course I would. And like I said a minute ago, if I found some boxes and they had appropriate expected value in them and the profit margins would be sufficient to justify the risk and the variance and all those other things, then absolutely I'd start breaking those boxes and selling the singles. So yeah, I don't think box breaking is done forever. I think it's done for a little while. And little while, maybe it's as short as 3 or 6 months. Maybe it takes 12 to 18 months. Beyond that, it becomes so hard to predict anything. But, it's going to have to get to the point where there are too many boxes in the market once again. And that can come about for a number of reasons. WotC may start printing too much again. Prices may just get too high as WotC continues to raise prices, and people will stop buying, and that's the mechanism by which too many boxes will be in the market. Maybe for some reason people stop playing Magic at the rate they play it now, and that has a significant enough effect. I think that's unlikely, but it's possible. So I think it's just a matter of time. The other effect that will be happening in this time period is that people who were doing box breaking, some of them will give up and move on. Some of them will think that, oh, this is done forever, and they'll think that there's never any more opportunity in it, and they'll just quit and go on to some other hobby, or they'll alter what they're doing with their time, and they'll maybe miss that it comes back at some point, or even if they see that it's back, they just won't be interested. And so there will definitely need to be a little bit of capitulation from some current box breakers to get them out of the pool, out of the competition for the boxes, and that will certainly help the hobby of box breaking as part of your business come back sooner. Now, like I said in the original video a couple weeks ago, If you're a store, if you have true distributor pricing, yeah, there's probably still good opportunity. There probably always will be. And there's always those people who have relationships with their distributors where they will take the closeout stuff that is unpopular with a lot of other stores and they will spend the time and effort to break it down and sell it off as singles if the price is right. And so I think there are always opportunities out there for someone. It's just a matter of what are the opportunities and who are they for. And right now, for people just working out of a bedroom like I do and messing around on YouTube like I do, it's not a great time to be a box breaker. But maybe in 12 to 15 months, I'll be getting back to that. So in the meantime, I'm still selling sealed product. I'm selling to my patrons. I'm making YouTube videos. I'm doing all the other stuff that Final Trade has done for a while now and will continue to do. So, and if I see an opportunity for box breaking, yes, I will absolutely jump at it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.